Two lawyers, Shannon's and Josie's, were both asked to respond to what the cops have said about both grandparents apparently not cooperating. This is essentially the first time the lawyers have commented on anything related to this case. Now, you may remember Police Commissioner Grant Stevens said on ABC Radio Adelaide on Wednesday that not one but two relatives of the 4-year-old are not cooperating with investigators. Specifically, they were not cooperating with police efforts to find Gus, and this suggests that either they are no longer assisting in the search or they are possibly resisting the search. Possibly they are requiring the cops to have a search warrant each and every time they want to do a search.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear thoughts build up until I can't hear. My mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear.
According to the Advertiser, the top cop had previously on February 18 said that two family members have withdrawn their cooperation, but South Australian police at the time claimed that he misspoke. Well, now it seems he didn't misspeak after all. According to the Advertiser, an SA police spokesman on Wednesday said, "We can confirm that two family members are only communicating via their legal representatives. We are unable to comment any further." Gus's grandparent, Josie Murray, is being represented by top Adelaide criminal lawyer Andrew I. When asked by the Advertiser on Thursday if his client had anything to say in response to Mr. Stevens' assertions, Mr. I said, "There's no further comment at this stage." Fair enough. Prominent city defense lawyer Casey Isaacs has been hired by Gus's grandmother, Shannon Murray. Mr. Isaacs said that his client is cooperating through her solicitor. I'm sorry, but I find that hilarious. That's such a clever choice of words, isn't it? Kind of a sneaky choice of words. I'm cooperating by having my lawyer deal with you.
Alrighty then.
The commissioner also said we will be going back to the property. I can't say when, I can't say what the reasons will be. That's entirely up to the task force, but the work is ongoing. Now, interestingly, in February, when family members were fingered as suspects in this case for the first time, do you remember Gus's grandparents? They responded with indignation. They were apparently aghast, saying that they were devastated and that the family had cooperated fully with the investigation. That's what they said at the time. The family had cooperated fully with the investigation. But that's a very clever choice of words, isn't it? Because the family could be Jess and Josh. They're not saying we have or are cooperating fully or I am cooperating. And it's clear since then that they aren't cooperating. Now, on a totally separate topic, the footage we see of little Gus on his bicycle barefoot at dusk reminds us there is an unknown entity at the center of this little boy and his psychology, his whims, and just the kind of person this little person was. Where he liked to play every day. What sort of games was he playing when this incident happened? And have a look at this.
Sorry about the mess.
For insight into a child's psychology, there's this fantastic movie out right now on Netflix that explores the interiority of a little girl who looks a little like Gus, her name's Bobo. And it's possibly a similar situation, a child running feral around a property. She does reckless things. She smokes cigarettes. This is a 7-year-old. But the issue is how reckless are the things that she's doing and what was the quality of the supervision. And if there was tension, what sort of tension was going on? Not from our perspective, but from a child's perspective.
Once upon a time, everyone got along with everyone else. All of nature as one family.
Mum, am I African?
No, Baba.
According to the New York Times, tensions are high on the modest farm Bobo's family maintains alongside a small staff of black laborers. An outdoorsy child, Bobo understands the world by observing the adults around her, particularly her mercurial mother, Nicola, whose feelings of entitlement over the land degenerate into racist mania. Just consider that turn of phase. her mercurial mother, whose feelings of entitlement over the land degenerate. Is there anyone at Oak Park Station that could be described in the same way? Mercurial, entitled, and a degenerate. Mercurial means temperamental or quick-tempered, unpredictable, and volatile. My own impression of Don't Let's Go to the Dogs Tonight is that the most dangerous person in Bobo's life was her own mother, often drunk and often carrying a firearm. Those two in combination aren't a good mix, and add to that someone with a vicious temper, and it's even worse. Is there anyone at Oak Park Station that could be described in the same way as the spunky pixie's mercurial mother, Nicola? Now, according to The Guardian, there's a lovely performance from 7-year-old newcomer Lexi Fenter as Bobo, a smudgy-faced little kid left to run ferally and blissfully wild on her family's disintegrating farm. This is a place where her parents sleep cradling guns. Her dad is away much of the time on a paranoid protective patrol with other white farmers, and her mum is going not so quietly frantic with depression and drink. She is blearily determined to stay on and to ignore her neighbour's uneasy awareness of her past bipolar episodes due to a family tragedy. Now, in this case, you have the farm that is disintegrating, and in the Gus Lamont case, I think you have something else that is taking place. You have a family that's disintegrating around the backdrop of a farm that I think is thriving, and the efforts to keep that ATM, running. Also, in terms of this story in Africa, you have a sort of a larger political situation where they're going to inherit a very bad situation where their property is going to be taken away. Whereas in the Gus Lamont case, you may have a situation where you may have a good situation in a sort of political sense, in a legacy sense, that the family might inherit a property if all things go well, if people are on their best behavior. Now, from Bobo's perspective, we experience a host of adult behaviors that are not just benign neglect or blatantly inappropriate, but borderline criminal. And if you watch this film, I think you can begin to see what unique challenges there are for looking after a small child on a large property. A child is often given a lot of freedom, but that comes with a fair amount of risk. In Bobo's case, her baby sister was left in her care and ultimately drowned. But whose responsibility was Bobo's sister's life really? Bobo also sees adult behavior, specifically adult sexual behavior, in ways that would otherwise be off limits to everyone else. One's got to ask, was that a dimension in Gus's life, in Gus's experience? At one point, she describes mum and dad moving furniture around with their clothes off. There's also an older sister, Van, whose blossoming adolescence attracts the attention of her creepy uncle. It makes one wonder what Gus saw and perhaps wasn't supposed to see during his short life. Well, I hope you found this analysis interesting. I'm not going to take it further than that. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.